30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds.
Tiger blood pumping. Robot is ready
10,
to go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Tiger blood pumping. Robot is ready to go. No place for land whales. Because it's time to go. Trigger warning. The trigger warning show. Trigger warning. The trigger warning show. Trigger warning. The trigger warning show.
Yes, we're back for another year. I can't believe it's 2026 and we're back with the Trigger Warning Show. I've had some lovely, lovely gentlemen join me today. Price of Reason, Professor R2 and Istophobus. Welcome to the Trigger Warning Show. Some again and some for the first time. How is everybody?
I am doing great, and thank you for having me. This is really the big leagues for me, man.
We will be sure to disappoint.
Great
And,
to be here. Great to be here. Happy to take a step away from prepping for a blizzard. Probably not something you get to do very often down in Australia, but it's a reality for me around here.
No, it's a lovely 24 today. Might go in the pool later, and 32 tomorrow. 32 Celsius, like the real way to measure temperature. So it's very warm down here at the moment. It's lovely.
Yeah, we're gonna get a foot of snow over the weekend. Super fun.
Yes, the world is quite large. For seeing that it's flat, it's really weird that we get different weather at different times. You think we'd all get the same weather, but if it was a ball, then I could understand. But now that it's flat, I just don't quite get it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a weekend without electricity. So,
Price left. He hates that flat Earth talk. It scared him off.
Just don't get him started on the moon landing. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, he's back. So you've dropped down on the list now that you took off because of the flat Earth talk.
yeah, because he doesn't think we went to the moon, we couldn't see the Earth from space and know it's round.
Exactly. And Istophobus, that buff robot head you got there is just magnificent. It's my cousin Buffy robot.
It's my favorite little action figure there.
Now, first thing I want to talk about. It's not news this week. It's a bit late, but pardon me, first show back, I get to talk about it, saying, she's the whole reason I'm here. Is the news, not news to anyone at the moment, but it was news that Kathleen Kennedy is going out the door, which is, it's a little late, isn't it? Like, I'm quite surprised people are celebrating. It's like someone put a bullet in your dog's head, and because they're walking away, everything's good again. It's, not sure if I'm quite celebrating just yet. What about you guys? How do you feel about Kathleen going?
Well, she's like Alexander the Great. She has no more worlds to ruin. So her work is done. She's
accomplished every goal. Every goal she had was accomplished. She is walking away from Lucasfilm, her head held high, her neck flapping in the wind. She is absolutely the champion of all studio production heads. She has won everything she hoped for, all the glory she wanted, by destroying not one, not two, but at least 3 different IPs that are now irrevocably destroyed. It's wonderful.
Yes, and she claims that she has never made a single misstep. She regrets nothing, and all of her decisions have been the correct ones.
Do you think she actually believes that? She's a mystery, Kathleen. Like, I know their egos are absolutely huge. I never thought she'd get fired. These people are way too powerful. People saying that she was going to get fired years ago, which would have been hilarious if she was marched out, and the guy with the cowboy hat. But, you know, that was never going to happen. I think she's leaving of her own accord. But the way the way her mind works, you've always got to question if she truly believes it. Like, we did have her say how there was no books or comics or anything to go by when she took over Lucasfilm. That was interesting, that she didn't think there was any reference material she could check out for, you know, future films. She sort of denied that George left any stories behind that they could pick up on and maybe move forward with. And then she recently came out and said how, this one made me laugh, Rian Johnson got spooked by the audience making Star Wars, and that's why he ran away. And he denied it straight away, which did make me laugh. Go, Ryan, fight for your reputation there.
I had really hoped that he would shed more light on something. I wanted to hear more. It's the first time ever that I wanted to hear more from Rian Johnson. I wanted him to spill the beans and like throw her under the bus. I was already waiting there thinking maybe this is the one time that he'll be like a useful idiot, but he didn't do it.
I reckon he's always on the edge, like he's just, because he's a little egomaniac too, like it just, anything could trigger him off to come out and tell the truth. But yes, is she just delusional, or is she full of shit? Or is it a bit from column A and a bit from column B? What do you guys think? Like, does she actually believe that she's done a great job? Like, I suppose, why wouldn't she? Everyone probably tells her she does a great job every day.
I believe if you connected a lie detector to her turkey waddles and she told you she is the greatest producer ever, that it would say she's telling the truth. But if you got her really drunk or roofied her, if you were able to get her in an alternative state of mind, I think she might admit that she was a failure. I think she grew up in the shadow of really great people, and she grew bitter every day thinking that she could do a better job because she had all these great ideas in her mind, and they were constantly telling her, no, they're really bad ideas. Go get the coffee. And when she finally had her chance to shine, she put all those ideas into place, and they failed miserably, but she didn't get the appropriate feedback. Like you said, everyone's telling her how great she is. I really think she believes it, but somewhere buried under those conscious layers is an entity that realizes she is a miserable failure.
Well, I didn't think in my wildest dreams I'd hear someone talking about giving a roofie to Kathleen Kennedy as a first time for everything.
I meant truth serum. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
you cast a magic spell on her, something. Yeah, not a Cosby type of thing. No, something.
We find
totally
you crying in the. We find you crying in the shower, just in the fetal position.
I was just going with what's on hand.
Even if that happened, I still think that she wouldn't say that she failed. I feel like in her mind, even if there's a part that she realizes that something didn't do well, there's a good explanation for it that has nothing to do with her. And I really believe she believes it, like the ists and phobes, the bots, the Russians, the toxic males, the people who are ill, hate like progress, all of this stuff. I'm sure she sits there with her friends at like cocktail parties and her close circle of people, and have been saying this for years, and they all agree with her 100%. And the media usually agrees with her. And I don't think that in her mind she really fully accepts. Maybe she understands that some things didn't do well, but there's that additional explanation that kind of makes her the good guy in all of it.
Yeah, I think you actually may be right. I think she might have a legitimate reason for blaming somebody else. She'll accept that there were failures, but she won't accept it was because of her.
That they were her failures. Yep.
I mean,
well,
that
Solo,
article,
she keeps blaming the actor. What's his name?
Yeah,
Played Han.
Alden
That guy worked his ass off.
Yeah, Alden Ehrenreich.
It wasn't his fault. He was every
No.
scene you could see him trying.
He was great in Ironheart, man. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Imagine you gave him the lead in a Han Solo movie.
Yeah, no.
Nerd weirdo in Ironheart.
I will accept that there are actors that maybe don't bring their best or are not really right for a role, but I'm never going to accept that an entire show or an entire film is as terrible as it is just because the lead actor was not the right fit. Yeah, it can make a difference, but there was a lot of stuff wrong with that production and many other productions at Lucasfilm that had nothing to do with the actors they chose for their roles. I kind of like Alden Ehrenreich. I just think he must have a terrible, terrible agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's quite likable. Like he's there's something about him who's quite like he's not horrible to watch or anything. And he's got personality. So yeah, but his agent, fucking hell, sack that agent. I suppose you get handed a Star Wars film, you think it's going to be a good thing in life.
I think his agent is kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because he set him up initially with a small role in a Coen Brothers movies, which put him on the map, because that's always good to have on your resume. So that was a good thing. And he was also in Oppenheimer, playing off of Robert Downey Jr. in some important scenes, and I thought he did well.
Yeah, you're right.
He did.
So that's like the Dr. Jekyll version of his agent. The Mr. Hyde is like Ironheart and Solo.
Are you saying that we didn't need a movie that gave us an explanation that his name is Solo because he was alone?
Wouldn't you love the real story behind there when the directors got sacked and what they were all feeling at the time, and what they thought about how the production was going before the original directors got sacked? Like that's the story we want to hear and find out about. What amazed me is when they did Solo, it was like going to be a prequel, and then they hired an actor. I should check the ages, but he looked like he was the same age as Harrison Ford when he played Han Solo for the first time. It's like, why are we seeing 5 minutes before we meet Han Solo in another whole film? Like, it was all so odd choices, but yeah, we shouldn't be blaming the actor, that's for sure.
But her whole interview, beyond blaming him, you could tell that everything was like, people supposedly she's being asked about Dial of Destiny. The way they coordinated with the PR teams, Deadline is asking her, some people say that Dial of Destiny didn't work because Harrison Ford was too old. Now, the fact that they asked her that question, it means that she wanted them to ask that question. They didn't just ask it randomly. It was a controlled environment. So it was another situation that she wanted to plant the seed of, it's somebody else's fault. He was too darn old. And then her answer was, well, he really wanted to make that movie, Harrison, and I just wanted to make sure that he gets that movie that he wanted. It's like, bitch, this has nothing to do with what Harrison Ford wanted. You know what I mean? Like, shut up already.
That's like people too that say, he wanted Han Solo killed off. That's why they killed him in Force Awakens. Like, you don't just go by what the actors want and do, or you use that as an excuse like she bloody is. When you say Dial of Destiny, like, my focus is so on her destroying Star Wars. And then when people talk about Legend, and then they mention Indiana Jones, you're like, fucking my God, this woman has been destroyed. Because that sort of leaves my mind until someone brings it up again that she was in charge of that as well. Like, Dial of Destiny was fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
And as much damage to any franchise ever, and the same woman was in charge.
Yeah. And remember, all of the people that work at Lucasfilm, she hired them. So anything that isn't directly her fault is indirectly her fault. All the ideologically imprisoned people that delivered that dumpster fire that was Willow, that's still all on her. The acolyte. Now, I don't know if that's a true story where she goes, you've written a good Star Wars show. Now make it a good Leslie Headland show. Nobody has asked the question, why? Why would you already have a good Star Wars show? Why do you need a good Leslie Headland show? Why the hell would you do that? No one's asked her the question, why do you think she asked you to do that?
I like that it's come out that she's talked to virtually every director in Hollywood trying to get some idea of where Star Wars should go. And she says it like it's a good thing. It's like, oh, we spoke to this person, that person, this person. It sounds like that's all she bloody did the whole time she was there was ring people. Have you got an idea for Star Wars? Have you got any ideas for Star Wars? And they're not writers as well, like, well, smart, but like, it's just directors constantly like, could you think of something we could do?
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's her job.
Yeah, she asked Harrison Ford, "What should we do with Han Solo?" And he said, "Kill him off." And she said, "What? Kill off a white male? Absolutely."
But she's saying now that she's got like 4 or 5 scripts finished sitting there.
It's such BS.
Lying.
Yeah, and it's so why aren't you doing them?
They weren't going to just kill Harrison Ford off. They were going to erase him from history and give all of his triumphs to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That is the ultimate desecration. And that was going to happen.
It is funny that she listened to Harrison Ford, but she didn't listen to Mark Hamill. If you think about it.
Just a quick super chat here. We love the super chats. Keep the fire going and the channel running. Now, I always have to pronouncing these names half the time. Gets me though. Rapsel6916 for $5 Australian. And in Australia, they're real dollars. We can use them here. We need them. I hate how Kathleen blames the actors not living up to expectations. Let's get that out. When she was the one to come up with a solo movie no one asked for. Exactly right. Like, no one asked for it. No one's asked for anything she's done, to be honest. No one asked for lesbian witches either. So,
yeah. Well, you mentioned like not listening to Mark Hamill when he made suggestions about his character, and of course, I mean, the answer is, well, he wanted to not humiliate a white man. So, no, of course we're not going to do that. I mean, come on. We have to humiliate you and tear you down, or else Rey might not look like a good character.
If she'd retired before taking over Lucasfilm, she would have left with the greatest reputation in Hollywood. Like, she just could have lived off that the rest of her life. But the running of Lucasfilm has definitely changed her reputation. Well, I wonder if the higher ups it actually has. I mean, they're at a different level to us plebs down here whinging about Star Wars. You know, up at her level, I wonder if it actually has hurt her reputation.
Well, remember, she didn't listen to Gareth Edwards either. We have a friend who makes movies. It's the Mega Geek. And he had some interaction with the people making Rogue One. And originally, the story was supposed to be about the Donnie Yen character and his big old sidekick. But Kathleen Kennedy insisted on a female British accent speaking insert to be the main character. So we end up with a very strange story that's not nearly as coherent as the one that we were going to get.
Doesn't even match the trailers that came out. I've never seen a film that had trailers that were just completely different to what we got.
Well, you know, that seems to happen more and more often as they are editing up until the very last minute where the digital film is sent out to the theaters.
Yes, and getting those effects looking as crappy as they can be just before it's released. She also, we can't forget, and this has really been put under the rug, she also was part of the hotel at Disneyland, the billion, what was it? That cost billions to build.
Oh,
the Star
Star
Wars
Cruiser,
hotel.
yeah.
Star Cruiser.
Oh, yeah.
And that just came and went.
Abject failure. Yeah, abject failure.
Anyone could have told you that was going to fail, what they were charging. It's based around Ray and Kylo. And no, we're going ahead. And then, was it 18 months it lasted? And then it just went. And we're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
They could not keep enough reservations in that place to allow it to continue to be profitable. They could not keep it full because part of it was, I mean, if you watch some of the I don't know if you spent any time watching any of the like blogs that were available for people who do like these, you know, these rides and experiences and stuff like that and document them. I was watching a few of these, and like half of the time you're sitting there like, they're like, oh, we're going to play we're going to do this amazing entertainment thing later today. And then they show up and it's like, they're playing space bingo. That's what they're doing. It's like, what?
They were line dancing in one.
I'm gonna pay $5,000 for my family to show up for 3 days in this tiny cramped ass hotel, and you're gonna have me playing Space Bingo.
But you get to drink blue milk while you do it. That Jenny Nicholson video is fantastic because
that is a good one. Yes,
you could call a Disney shill. She's on their side, and she went in there as a straight up journalist and told the whole truth, and they didn't come out looking very good at all. And it's no coincidence that they just shut down Galaxy's Edge to retool it for OG Star Wars characters during the same week she announced her retirement from Lucasfilm. That is not a coincidence.
It can't be. Cannot be.
Just quickly, again, another $2 from Rapsil6916. Thank you very much. Also, Kathleen turning Star Wars into a girl brand. Well, she wanted to. She didn't succeed to. She turned it into a weirdo brand because I don't know any girls that are into it either. Like, I don't know anyone into it, to be honest, unless it's some weirdo that hates me online. In the real world, I don't know anyone that gives a fuck about Star Wars anymore. It's sad, the damage she's done.
She turned it into a they-them brand.
Talking about how they're going to update Star Wars at Disneyland to incorporate the OT again.
Is it just me or I can't hear it?
No, it's not just you.
No. Robot Head's gone nuclear. His fusion reactor has seized up, and we can't hear anything.
He may have muted himself.
What sentence did he start?
Oh boy! Oh no, he's disconnected. Okay, well, anyway, I think he was just talking about how we, looking at how they're retooling everything inside of Galaxy's Edge now. This of course was always how it was supposed to be, right? Originally, their idea was
Hang on, did I disappear or did everyone else disappear?
No, you disappeared.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Yeah, it happens.
I was like, everyone's gone. Chat, tell me what's happened, and I'm like, then I just disappeared completely. Yeah. I thought everyone else disappeared. Sorry, I'm glad you kept the show going.
No,
I might just leave altogether.
Yeah, we were just trying to pick up where you left off. We were talking about Galaxy's Edge because originally it was kind of supposed to be Tatooine, but then there were also going to be parts of it that did have some prequel stuff in it. There were going to be parts that had sequel stuff in it, but it was really originally going to focus a lot on the original series of the original trilogy of films. And then basically Kathleen Kennedy came in and said, absolutely not. And you have to dump everything that has to do with anything else except the sequels.
It's insane. And apparently, like, they don't even play the music there when you're there. It's just like there's none of the music going, like the Harry Potter world.
Yeah, they've never played the music. But I do have an answer. There is one group of people who are still obsessed with Star Wars. They are a frightening group of mentally ill folks known as shippers. And they live and die by fictional relationships.
Oh, the Raylos
they see on screen. And they are scary as hell. They will show up on your doorstep, trying to force you to get divorced. That weird kind of shit. So they love Star Wars still.
The delusion and the love for anything Star Wars and Kathleen, like thanking her and everything. Even if you liked, I suppose that doesn't make sense, but I was going to say, even if you liked what they've been doing, wouldn't you understand that they've lost half their audience, that like so many people have turned away from Star Wars, that someone could have done a better job, but they just want to deny there's any problem at Star Wars whatsoever. And like, even if you love the films, you've got to understand how much of the audience they've actually lost, but they just want to deny that. They got angry.
Half the audience, I think.
Well, yeah,
they lost more than half. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think but half was being generous, and what gets me is I don't know any kids that even watch all these fucking shows they make. That's the amazing thing. They're not even. It is just the weirdos, the shippers, and the effeminate bloody shills.
There's not enough of them. I mean, you were talking about this Galaxy's Edge thing, and there's a vice president that worked at Disney that was involved in the parks, and he's the one that actually, after he left that company, did an interview, some years ago, and he said that the original plan was to do sort of Mos Eisley on that planet, and to do like the original trilogy characters, and the main person that was lobbying for this not to happen was Kathleen Kennedy, who basically said that she wants to focus on the future of Star Wars, not the past, and also mumbled something about 50-year-old men or something that she doesn't want them there, or 50-year-old customers. Let's say she doesn't want them there, but implying that it's the men. And the big problem is that the 50-year-old men that she doesn't like, that's your best customers. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine if you want to try to expand and add new and younger generations to be interested in this, but if you can't hold on to the people that are willing to spend the most money on this franchise, have kept it alive for decades, and are the reason why it's even a valuable asset, if you think that those guys are stupid and you don't need them and fuck them, then you're an idiot,
Yeah,
that's
also
who
brings their kids in. That's who brings the next generation in to see the franchise. Without the 40 and 50-year-old couples, you don't get their kids, and you lose the next generation of viewers.
When it was the anniversary for Return of the Jedi, they did an original print actually at the Astor Theatre here that has an actual projector, and the whole place was full of dads and their kids, like teenage kids, young kids, and the whole place was full of that. There wasn't sort of groups of kids there on their own. There was just dads living the dream again by living it through their children. And that's just a built-in audience that was just sitting there ready to go. Like, the timing was sort of perfect. All the kids that had grown up on it now had kids. So,
now next year, of course, we're going to be getting the 50th anniversary. And it does sound like they will be showing a remastered version of the original film from 1977. And I think Kathleen Kennedy didn't want to be around anymore for that re-release to make more money than any film she produced during her tenure.
People say don't support it because the money goes back to Lucasfilm. No, fuck that. I want everyone to go see it 10 times. I wanted to
go see that original film that will obliterate every single film that was released at Lucasfilm since it was bought by Disney. It will be humiliating.
I can say something that speak to this real quick. As somebody who was actually alive when the Star Trek, the original series, came out, there were some women fans of that show, but not very many. I mean, you would go to an early Star Trek convention and it's like 20-1 male to female. But when those men got married and started having kids, they raised their daughters on Star Trek and Star Wars. And all of a sudden, you're getting a larger female fan base. But without the fathers bringing them into that property, you wouldn't have any. And she wanted to go right to the children, forgetting who gives them the money to go to the movies, who brings them to the parks. You're not going to get a 12-year-old going to Disney by themselves.
And they didn't even have the talent to write something that was attractive to younger people. Like, it didn't. The films they're making didn't have that dreamlike quality, that kids would enjoy and want to go with their friends. Only people are going to go with dads taking their kids. It's like, we hate those people.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue, the lack of talent and competence in Hollywood as they've gotten rid of the generation who built everything. It's a whole new can of worms right there.
From Sean 4680, a long-time supporter of the channel here. Did you get a chance to see Avatar 3? I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I did it. I struggled to get through the second one, and I saw the trailers, and it's probably the first time I've said I just can't fucking do it. Like, normally I'll see anything to make some content, but no, I didn't, sadly. By noted New Zealand filmmaker James Cameron. Yeah, he loves living there. He's been there a while now. Yes, as of 2025, he's also a New Zealander, unlike you. I actually think he's been living there for quite a while now, I think he's been living there at least 5 years now. But
yeah, I think he moved during the pandemic.
Yeah. He's also Canadian, and I've seen New Zealand described as Oz's Canada. That's probably a good description, I think. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but yes, New Zealand, bunch of weirdos over there, keep coming over here. Sean 4680, another $2. Thank you very much. Mr. Head just hit by OCP's Directive 4, didn't he? OCP's Directive 4, didn't he? Who did? I'm not sure what that means. Can anyone help me on that one?
Oh, Directive 4, RoboCop.
He has to
do whatever we tell you.
Yeah.
Is it me that's been hit with Directive 4?
That's what I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Rapsil 6916. Most kids hate the sequels now. Oh god, yeah. If they even watch them. So there was there was nothing there for the kids. And the shows, yes, I don't have like one nephew or niece that watches any of the shows. Because I'm always hinting to see if they, go online and listen to anyone talk about it. They just couldn't give a shit. So, not Brian, a very, very funny man who does the best Australian accent for someone that's not Australian I've ever heard in my life. Not Brian, very, very funny man who lived in Australia for a while. Pity it wasn't when we knew each other. We could have gone out for a beer. Speaking of Parks, did you see Drunken Ray Parks' latest Instagram meltdown? Best Star Wars related content in years. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. He's losing the plot again, isn't it, over his ex-wife or something?
I haven't seen that. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to do that right after this.
Yes, we should bring it up and watch it. Thank you, Brian. That was £10 too, I must say. Did I thank him that for £10? That's like 1,000 Australian dollars at the moment. So very grateful. T-shirted historian. There we go. Got my lips around it. $10. Thank you very much. Lucas originally built his empire on the toy sales. Now the toys cost $25 or more, and the actual kids don't play with them. It's us 50-year-old men that count on to buy that crap. It's so true. It's very true. And you don't even see the toys anymore. I haven't seen. I don't know. Do they even still do toys for all these TV series? I don't think they bother, do they?
That's
well, the middle-aged men don't
visit.
watch them, so the middle-aged men don't buy them.
Yeah, they're not buying that stuff anymore.
And you apparently don't go to landfills, because if you want to see the Star Wars toys and the Marvel toys, you have to go to a landfill to see them. All of the Shuri copters and the Rey action figures, that's where they live.
So she's out and, good riddance, I say. But I don't know.
She's not going anywhere.
That's right. She's still producing the next 2 movies, isn't she?
Yeah, she's going to pull an Iger. She's going to be behind the scenes where she can still take credit, but doesn't have to take the blame. And she's still going to be calling the shots, just like Iger did when Chapek was CEO of Disney.
The funniest thing is that phony article on Deadline that you could tell that all the PR people wrote questions and answers. It starts off that they're like, we caught up with Kathleen Kennedy. She's in London now, just wrapping up this great movie that she's working on. And like, she starts talking to them like, oh, just now I wrapped. I was with Ryan Gosling. We're just wrapping up that movie. I'm so busy. And I'm like, man, this lady is so annoying. Like, she's not wrapping up anything. She's just an asshole.
Sean 4680. I reckon I've got a good con here. I reckon if I muck up the super chats, then people have to send another one to clarify, and then I get a second super chat. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Then they're just going to halve them because they know I'm going to fuck them up, and they're going to have to send another one. Super chat footnote 1. James Cameron, living in New Zealand long time, has citizenship since 2025. Yeah, I thought he already had it, but he loves it over there. OCP Directive 4. You froze up like your almost namesake. True, it's true. I should have understood. And come up. Rapsil 6916. The huge success of the Revenge of the Sith re-release embarrassed Disney so much it proves we still want good Star Wars. Yeah, they it seems to be easy to embarrass them because of the amount of fuck ups they've had. And the next fuck up is bringing in the cowboy dickhead, which I am shocked people are celebrating. If they're not celebrating, they're saying you're already whinging. Give the guy a chance. Like, he's just arrived. Like, fucking how many years has he been at Lucasfilm? Fucking
long time. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that your tweet about Andor? That was your tweet, Robot Head, right? Where you're saying Andor is the only thing Filoni didn't touch. And we're like, if only we knew what the formula was.
Yeah, if only we knew what the problem was. So, I don't think Andor was perfect, but it was far better than any of the other bullshit. At least it was a story that you could follow.
If they would have let you edit Andor, it probably would have been halfway decent if we just could get you to edit it instead of whoever their editor was.
Get rid of that fucking wedding. That wedding's the first thing to go.
Oh God.
The first 3 episodes, I just get rid of those completely. They were unnecessary. The amount of bullshit.
I never wanted to know more about Mon Mothma. You know what I mean? Like, I never sat there and thought, really want to know what makes her tick. It's like, whatever we've seen, that's enough. I didn't need any more.
How dare you say you would get rid of that disco ball droid? That was one of the best things in that whole show. The disco ball droid, Dan, playing all the music and DJing the wedding. You guys are crazy. I don't know what you're talking about.
It, like everything, it has to be the best or the worst. Any criticism you have, and the Andor fans go off their nut online. They're as crazy as the Last Jedi fans. But yeah, I mean, it was better than everything else they've made, that's for sure. And it had some good moments, but I'm never going to praise that bloody wedding. Wheeler 22.
Also,
Kathleen Kennedy, there's a good name, is a logistics person. That's it. She makes sure the project is on budget and the sets are organised. This wasn't her greatest claim to fame. She organised helicopters when they were getting a monsoon hit when they were making Jurassic Park or something. And she got the helicopters to get them out. Like, that's her job. Give me a phone and $1 million and I'll get you helicopters too.
And her big job was insulating Spielberg from the Twilight Zone debacle and protecting him and make sure that he didn't get any of the spillover that happened after the accident on set. So I think Spielberg feels like he owes her. What?
Yeah, maybe that was. Maybe that's the secret.
It's interesting. First of all, if I was doing one of those kind of spooky conspiracy theory thing, I love it. I love the Twilight Zone story, but like not the story itself, but
the decapitation and the children dead. It's wonderful.
So, that is the worst thing I ever said.
I'm glad you're not facing me anymore.
It's not what I meant. I meant that is a tragedy, and that's the reason why I always steer away from that movie.
You didn't say that at all.
I'm saying that as a I'll never get out. As a conspiracy theory, I'm saying I think it's interesting. At the same time, though, it's not like anybody thinks that Kathleen Kennedy, they like pinned the blame on her instead of Spielberg. I think that the reason why Spielberg was able to step away is, first of all, the person that directed that segment, if I'm not mistaken, was John Landis, right?
Yeah,
so
that was him.
Yeah,
he was the one that like absorbed the majority of the blame because he's directing it and it's under his watch. Spielberg being tied to the movie, I think that what he did was he's just kind of distanced himself from John Lennon and said, "Man, John fucked up," and ran away.
Shields are going to love that. In your comments, it's going to be, aren't you the guy that said that you love that those children got killed in the Twilight Zone?
It makes me very sad, actually. I've seen that movie once many years ago, and then I read about the tragedy. And to be fair, I've never watched the movie again because of that, because I just feel like there's some kind of bad energy tied to it, so I don't actually watch it. I want to clarify, I didn't mean that I love the tragedy. I thought that Istefovus' idea of making it a whole conspiracy theory was interesting.
I'm too slow. I just muted him so he couldn't say that. We just want the bit that he loves children getting killed. So
no, hey, it's not just my idea.
Is he back? Is he unmuted himself?
Yes, I'm back.
At the time, there were a lot of stories about the complaints of safety on the set that went across Spielberg's desks, and he left he punted everything back to Landis. It's not just my idea. It was what was going on at the time.
Right, but he didn't need Kennedy for it. Everybody knew who Spielberg was. All he needed was somebody else to pin it on. And he's like, man, when I directed my segment, how many people died in my segment? And people said 0. And he's like, exactly. I'll see you later.
Just quickly, Sean 4680, he's on to me. He's on to me for mucking up the super chats, and I'm not giving you any more money today. So just today. Isn't that lovely? I've got another chance tomorrow, so or next week, but I do appreciate it all. I'll try not to muck them up. So
yeah. I believe Kathleen Kennedy was instrumental in funneling the media and making sure that they were all focusing on Landis and none of it spilled over to him. There was a lot going on at the time that was happening.
Did anyone actually get into trouble for that?
Well, I think that there's no way for me to say this. Weren't those? I'm not the person to ever talk about this again. Weren't the children like from a foreign country or something?
Yes, yeah, and they were both hired just as extras. They were not regular, regular actors on the set. But yeah, Vic Morrow and the two kids, but did both die. And there were actually, this was one of the first times that a major Hollywood director was actually brought on charges, and there were charges that were brought, and there was, was there actually a trial? I can't remember, but anyway, he ultimately was acquitted, saying that it was obviously just a freak accident, but yeah, there was
the heads off, didn't it? Well, hit them anyway.
Yeah, a couple of them were killed by the rotors, and one of them was crushed under the helicopter when it crashed. Yeah,
God,
there was some money that changed hands, and he was
absolutely there was
non-negligent. So nobody got in the kind of trouble you would expect that somebody needed to be after what happened.
It would have been different today with social media, but between them being, and I know this is a terrible thing to say, it's not me making making it happen this way, but between that they were foreigners, some checks were written to some people, and some money changed hands, and just the way the media and everything was working those days without social media and things like that, somehow they swept it under the rug.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Prize, is not so bad because it was foreigners? Is that what you were just saying?
No.
You said something like that, I think.
That's where Kennedy's influence really came into play with the whole sweeping. So
I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible, because if I was directing a movie and writing a screenplay, her having that kind of information and knowledge and using that to her advantage would be a really great thing within my screenplay. At the same time, I feel like Spielberg was such a golden boy, and he didn't personally direct that part, that even without her involvement, I think he still could have just said, "Listen, I didn't do that." You could say, for me, safety is always number one. If I'm not in charge and somebody else does something stupid, I couldn't stop him. That's all he had to say, and that's pretty much what he said.
From White Armor Film here, $7.99 Australian money. God, I need it at the moment. That's fantastic. Isn't this sad, though? Cheers from Melbourne. Dropped out of the 501st Legion with my ESB and Empire Strikes Back. Voba Boba Fett after 12 years because Star Wars has turned to crap. So, like, even the full-on fans that their whole life is dedicated towards enjoying it are now leaving because they just can't take it anymore. I mean, you've done well to stay this long, I think.
Yeah, those 501st people take it extremely seriously. I see them every year at Dragon Con, and you've never seen a group of people that dedicate more sort of time and money and effort into Star Wars.
They've used them in some of the films or the shows for stormtroopers to fill the backgrounds, haven't they?
Yeah. Their costumes are better than the ones from the prop department.
These days, I don't think that would be too hard. So,
yeah.
So that's it for Kathleen. She's gone. Thank God. Let me just get these super chats in case they're to do with Kathleen before we move on. Jeffinator, the Colossal. What an awesome name. 20 Australian dollars. G'day, Robot Head and Guess. Here's some more money. Any of you fans of Lego? I recently got the new Lego Enterprise, and I'm looking forward to the leaked, what is it, minus truth set that costs 1,000 Aussie dollars.
Yes. Wow, the Minas Tirith set is going to be incredible. I will not be spending that kind of money on that set. I don't even know where I would put it, but it does look stellar, as does that Enterprise D set. They look great.
Yeah, those are huge. You need a warehouse to display.
Oh yeah, you got to have some.
Where do people put them?
Yeah.
Lego's one of those things that, like, it is expensive, but people never really complain about the cost. It's more if they can afford it or not.
Yeah.
Somehow they still deliver quality no matter how much you're spending on it. So, like, no one ever sort of laughs if someone's bought one of those massive ships to build. It's just
you know why?
A bit of envy.
You know why? those sets are always limited edition. And so once those are no longer available, the $700 Millennium Falcons are no longer available. Your $700 Millennium Falcon is now worth $2,000. So if you want to turn around and sell it, it's worth at least 2 to 3 times what you paid for it. So it's
you got to keep those boxes and all those bags.
Yeah. Did you hear about somebody was making a big stink complaining that Legos were sexist because, they had male parts, but they weren't even figuring that every Lego has female parts too,
Yeah. But they only have male and female parts. There's no ambiguous in between they-them parts available on your Legos.
Okay, no non-binary Legos.
And they don't
Lego.
make Legos.
You can make whatever you want.
Yeah,
you can
they
make
don't
a
have
big
Legos.
freak with both genitals if you want to.
but you can't get a Lego brick that only has male parts, and you can't get a Lego brick that only has female parts. I don't understand what they're on about. It basically every Lego is a hermaphrodite, so I'm not really sure what they're upset about.
These people just get out of bed looking for an issue, don't they? Just every day. Now it's fucking
absolutely
Lego.
do.
The T-shirted historian somehow Decalpatine returned. Oh, I love the audience. So let's move on from Kathleen and her destruction. And I don't think we're ever going to actually see the end of her. But I don't know why she wouldn't retire with all her money and just leave it all behind. But I suppose the power, you've got that power. Once you leave, you don't get invited anymore to the parties and the award shows. So I'm sure that's why she's still there. But
she needs the recognition after living in the shadow of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and somewhat her husband all those years. She has to prove something to herself.
God, that's not the Australian way. We would just love to be hanging on the coattails of people like that, getting loaded. Don't need any recognition. So now we should get on to what we've been watching, which means we have to play this.
What you want? What you want? What you want? What you want? What you watching? What you watching?
Hello?
Fill your eye holes, not your pie holes. All your other holes. Nah. Watching. What you watching? Robot head is watching, bitch.
Yes. Look, we've been watching, I think we've all been watching, I think I'm probably the last to catch up, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. What the fuck is this show? Why? How and why has this come about? I don't understand how anyone could watch this and enjoy it. It's, oh my God. You take notes when you're watching something in case you're going to make a video or just anything, you're going to talk about it. So you take some notes. If something's good, you might only end up with like half a page of little things and that. I've got notes on every fucking scene of 3 episodes. I've got like a book of notes. I can't get through a scene without having to write something down about how shit this fucking show is.
How many times did you use the phrase fat cow in those notes? Because my God, like, wow. Okay. Yeah. This is Kurtzman Trek's final form. It's final evolution, right? If this is Dragon Ball Z, it's developed, over and over into something bigger and greater and even more woke than the last thing that they made. And so now we get this absolute disaster of a show where every character is queer, every character has quippy dialogue. We've got quirky characters who like to walk around without their shoes and never comb their hair as Starfleet captains running the daycare center that is now Starfleet Academy. It is a disaster of a show. I don't understand how executives even let this be aired. My guess is they didn't have a choice, but this is terrible. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, and what, are there only 2 instructors and 8 people at that entire school? They have no year classes. There's no juniors, sophomores, seniors. There's no kind of hierarchy. It's those same 8 people doing everything. And and you don't even see them going to class, man. Like, what the
And they
hell
seem
are
to be
doing
making
all day?
Starfleet decisions. They seem to be making decisions for everybody, like on the future of mankind. It's fucking, and there's no chain of command. No one gives a fuck about anyone else in this show. Like, there's no one listens to anyone. No one has any respect for anyone, except the fat ass there in the red just screaming at everyone. Like, it's
well,
I can't get my brain around it.
I had a fat gym teacher when I was in high school, so I kind of understand the concept of getting yelled at to run faster by somebody 150 pounds overweight in a tight, dirty T-shirt. But honestly, I thought that War College was like next door. I didn't know they shared a facility. What happens when it turns into a spaceship and they leave? Like, what do the War College kids do? It's like, oh, school's gone.
Yeah,
just hang out here for a while.
They hang on to those vaginal wings that they have dangling off the side or something. I don't know.
And what was the point of them all hopping on a ship to fly to San Francisco? The ship turns into a building, and then they were saying that once they've graduated, the ship will then fly off on their adventure together. How is that a sensible way to run a business? Like,
it is not. It is not a sensible way to run a school. It's not a sensible way to run a business. It is absurd.
Yeah,
this idea that now the Academy is a ship. Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yeah, where does the next Starfleet class go if the school actually flies away?
They build a new school for the for those kids.
How does everyone on every planet play and get good at basketball 850 years in the future? Or like, here's the thing, and this is something I hadn't seen anywhere else. They showed the little Rachel Weisz looking girl, and she's kind of,
doesn't she look like her? That was something I was going to say. Unbelievable.
But the thing is, your muscle memory, your instincts, your skills, everything is keyed into the gravity of the planet that you learn that sport in. And unless Bajor has the exact same gravity at Earth, she would be really bad at basketball because she would be constantly over or under throwing the ball. And don't tell me any different.
This show is completely devoid of any internal logic whatsoever. It's shown over and over again. There are things that make no sense. The villain in the first episode, for God's sake, he escapes on an escape pod.
Yeah. Why did they just go pick him up?
It doesn't have engines. It doesn't have warp drive. It's literally floating through space, waiting to be picked up. And they just let him go.
Yeah,
he just let him go.
It's got escape in the name, though, so that's how you. escape.
They figure that's Well, she's just untouchable. Once you get in that and you jettison outside the ship, they can't touch him. They can't go after him. It's
and we got
there's a rule or something.
We got holographic jump rope, holographic earbuds, holographic espresso cups. Like, the only thing they tried to do original was that absurd sport of calico.
Oh, jeez. Silly. It's capture the friggin' flag. It's all it is.
Yeah, but with inconsistent rules, and that you could use that. Well, one, why aren't they using the holodecks? Why are they actually putting real equipment and real students at risk? That's exactly the kind of thing the holodeck is for.
It doesn't make, there's so much in this that just is so current day BS. It doesn't make any sense at all. They've forgotten that they have replicators.
Yeah.
They've forgotten that this is a post-scarcity society, so they give away free Ractagino at the cafe. They're all free.
Yeah,
they're all free.
They've got a coffee machine from today.
Yeah,
they had we'd have things from the Roman times and be using them. It's just the idea of writing science fiction is just absent from this show. Like,
absolutely.
Besides the spaceships, your things you have to have, their conversation and activities, the way they talk, the sports they do, like you said, they don't even understand people coming from other planets that might have a different gravity or something. Everything is just today. There's nothing that makes you think about the future in this.
No. They have a main character who is a hologram
who breathes underwater,
fat,
apparently,
and needs to breathe underwater.
Yeah,
and also doesn't it doesn't make any sense. She needs, and why does she need to do PT?
Yeah, well,
why does she need to exercise? She's not building muscle.
Yeah, and why is she allowed to compete in a sport where she can't even be shot? I did like the Starship Troopers shower scene. I'm not going to lie. And,
there's a lot of Starship Troop here, which brings me back to what age this is made for, this show. But just the hologram. I have so many questions because I think it's that dumb. I think, no, I'm stupid. There's something going on here. She's just a program, correct?
Obviously, yeah.
So why does she need to learn anything? Why would you make a program at 17 and needs to learn how to do things? Like, I don't understand why anyone thinks
there's no reason. Sense. There's no logic behind it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, even in the Matrix, they could just pipe kung fu directly into. So you don't need to. And the other. I mean, they could say, well, it's social learn empathy. My God, they must have said empathy 200 freaking times during that whole episode. So she can understand what it's like to be human. Well, just program that into her too. But the fact that she can transport and zip all around the place like she did when she was feeding all the little Audrey 2s in everybody's room from Little Shop of Horrors. Like, so why does she need to run? She could just flit around like a freaking...
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not as though, like, we don't see other holograms doing that. Like, there was, like, the medical holograms that just appear and spray people with goo and then disappear.
And they never do anything for what could be interesting. Like, we got Data, and like so many interesting things happened because he wasn't a human and he wanted to know what it was like to be human, things like that. This hologram just makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense why it would exist. And then they don't do anything interesting with it besides make it fucking annoying. Like, I'm sorry, but that woman, every time she fucking opens her mouth, it's annoying as fuck. She was on the training course and was screaming against the rock, and then somehow she got on the team. Like, what sort of program is she?
Also, she kind of has these moments where she acts more urban suddenly. And that's between her being like overweight and acting urban, it's a very strange hologram.
She hasn't shown up wearing her grill in the show yet, but I'm just waiting for it.
Well, I did notice in the episode last week, they had serving robots, and look at what they chose to make them as far as appearance. All of the slaves, the robotic slaves looked like one particular group, but they make no allowances for different species, strengths, or abilities, or different intellects. It's like we're all equal. Vulcans are several times as strong as humans, so it would be absurd for them to play basketball against each other. Yeah. And again, we're dealing with this right now, but co-ed sports, you're not really going to have a true competition when you set things up that way, because there are remember in 2017, the football team of the United States Women's All-Star, called soccer, were beaten by a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah, high school boys team.
Men,
Just
not
destroyed them. Destroyed them.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in Australia. The boys won 6-0. And they were the under 14s or something against the Australian, champion team.
National team. Yeah, women's national team. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'll just get this one out quickly because this is about Kathleen, so we move on. Last one, and Wheeler 22, thank you again. Insiders estimate the KK was responsible for $14 billion in losses for Disney. That's insane. That is insane. I'm glad we're back. It is an achievement.
It's an extraordinary achievement if you think about it.
But I do like this Argobot 64. They certainly solved world hunger. Well, they did, except for at the start of the show when the mum, who was a fucking loser, got caught stealing stuff and then went to rehabilitation, but she was in there as long as the guy that committed the murder. She was still in there. She had to break out after 15 years. And on the same day, the villain came back, was on the first day that the son had joined Starfleet. Oh, my brain's going.
And he's
joined the
piloting
Academy.
ship.
Yeah, he comes back and attacks that ship. It's fucking insane, this show. Absolutely insane. A shame. If the ship cloaks, it grows a giant maxi pad.
They're also acting like the burn is some post-apocalyptic thing. They act like the burn was this post-apocalyptic thing with people living in tents and the road warrior and shit. It's like, no, they're just confined to their planet like we've been during our entire existence. It's not that horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there were, I'm sure there were a few, planets that were a bit more like the dark continent rather than North America, just to say, it didn't like destroy all of society everywhere. It fragmented, a lot of society.
The only people that were burned was us because we have to watch this shitty program. That's what I think every time they say the burn. I'm like, I'm burned. I'm the one suffering.
What about this woman? Hang on, can I go back? Where are my controls gone? I want to go back to that woman. Where is she? Ah, she's gone past now. But that swallowed her communicator.
That ate her comm badge. Oh my God! Yeah, of course it was a fat woman that ate it.
So many of them act retarded. Like she swallowed that. The holograms licking substances. They just there was one running around saying red alert because one went off. Like they're fucking mongos. It's just insane.
It's absolutely absurd. Like as I said, this is not a place for the best and the brightest, the most capable of people that we have ever had that are excelling above everyone else. Like we were shown in The Next Generation with Wesley has to test over and over and over to see if he's physically and psychologically and mentally prepared to actually go and be part of this incredibly elite group. We have not been shown that in this show. In fact, we see in the first episode that the chancellor that's now running this used to run a daycare center. I think there's a very real reason that she was brought here, and it's because this is just a daycare center for a bunch of absolutely retarded people.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
Do you remember the scene where they had to show the two lesbians getting in a spat? Like, you forgot to prep the replicator.
Oh,
like, how long does it take to prep a fucking replicator?
Man, that was I felt so annoyed when I saw that scene because I don't even understand. How is she even a female Jem'Hadar? And then if she's a female Jem'Hadar, how would she be in a relationship with I don't know what I'm supposed to say Tig Notaro is. I don't know what the politically correct way. That and the other Jem'Hadar is so strange. I don't understand the physics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how does that even work?
Nearly every character is a mixed character, like a half-breed of two different types. Like every time they meet someone, I've got a bit of this in me or I'm half that. Like... No one's allowed to stick to their own species, apparently. It's all got to be mixed together.
Yeah.
But wasn't the Jem'Hadar something very specific it's not like other creatures? There's something about it.
Absolutely.
They have no reproductive system. They were genetically, they have no gender. But so like...
Yes.
But they need... Oh, go ahead.
No. They're just saying, they are genetically engineered. They do not reproduce. There are no women. They're all male and they are propagated genetically. They literally just grow them from genes. They grow them in tubes. They don't reproduce. So the whole idea is ridiculous.
And her body positivity aside, how does somebody who's always talking about blood and decapitation and killing, but I want peace. You should kill them. I want peace. I'm joining Starfleet, not the War College, because I love peace. Now, if we could just get them to kill each other and spill blood. Like, none of the characters are consistent. They're all caricatures, just cardboard cutouts.
This is the worst scene, Robot. If you could go back to that slide. I got so upset when I saw that slide, like whatever you just showed. The men, what you didn't show in the thing is that the men look like the actors went to the gym every morning and like they look like they have muscles and stuff. Yeah, then you see these ladies. What is this? You know what I mean? Why are the men like they choose them to be these guys that work out all the time for the ladies to be like excited, but when it comes to like men watching stuff, we used to have like T'Pol. What is this? You know what I mean? Like what are we even looking at?
And make sure you have those bright LEDs on your stealth combat suit. So when you're sneaking around trying to attack something, you're well illuminated. Like,
is that exit sign in the background? Is that texter on a piece of paper?
It looks like it. It looks terrible.
It looks like it's a piece of paper. I didn't even notice that. I have so many notes.
So
from
weird,
this.
yeah.
All of the modernisms. It's like Santa, buns of steel, dude, the guy blowing on the barrel of a weapon that doesn't smoke. Primal.
She called him a prospector because he'd been traveling. Are you an old-time prospector?
Gum, maggots, Romeo, Romulan flipping the bird, saying something is bullshit.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I gave you 5 stars. How the fuck does a Bajoran know what an Uber rating is for fuck's sake?"
For the win.
Because they're not making it. This is supposed to be something that's happening 1,000 years in the future, but they want it to be relatable to people today. So they're talking in the language of today, of like Gen Z weirdos. They're talking about things that exist in our world today, but it doesn't make sense within the logic of the show that they would be doing any of this.
Absolutely.
And Kurtzman doesn't care. It's like as if him and his writers, if you even want to call them that, that they have the thing of like there's no bad ideas. Like anything that anybody says, this is my theory. Anybody says anything in the writer's room, it gets approved. Whatever it is that they said, like they have an idea, done. Like I don't think there's any process of like, well, maybe we should do it, maybe we shouldn't do it. It almost sounds like a Key and Peele sketch where they keep adding. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
go.
I have a small garden in my backyard, and she's talking about patience. Here's a plant. You have to learn patience. These things grow full size in a day. That's not patience. Plants take weeks and months to even sprout and mature. She's like, you need to learn patience. This will be a full-grown Audrey 2 by tomorrow. Like, what the heck? It makes no sense.
I heard his dream was to always do like a Harry Potter, Star Trek.
Yeah.
And which
Hogwarts.
Is blatantly obvious. They're just taking from scene to scene the plants and growing, like it's ridiculous. But then,
they have the 2 different houses. There's the War College and there's Starfleet. They got to compete against each other for the House Cup or whatever. It's completely ridiculous.
But then when you're watching it, like, I think this about so many shows that come out these days, like all the Star Wars shows. What age are they fucking aiming at? Because it's got things like in the original Harry Potter that was for kids, like, that series was very good at growing with the audience and growing with the characters. But it's got childish things. Nearly everything they think's futuristic is just fucking childish. And then it's got everyone calling each other an asshole and flipping the bird and fucking being just horrible to each other. And then it's got like the stupid woman swallowing her badge. And I'm still like, I never understand who they're making. You can make it for a family, but then you don't put in asshole and that one of the guys is rooting every man and woman alive. Then you can make it a family. Like, which is it?
Yeah, this is a show made by people who are stuck in a state of arrested development for people who are stuck in a state of arrested development. They are children in the bodies of adults. They can't think in any more clearly or any more complex than any 12-year-old child. They think swearing is funny, and they look at all of these different characters like, oh, they're gonna bang. It's terrible. It's absolutely awful. It's made. Who's it made for? It's made for the people who wrote it.
Yeah, that's people who feel very awkward, like people who will swallow marbles.
Alex Kurtzman said in an interview, he said that the reason he made this show is because he was thinking of his son. And the reason he was thinking of his son was because there was the Couve, the international Couve, and how it influenced that generation of children. And he thought that it would be such a great way to explore it by making this show and making it like Harry Potter. He said this in an interview. So he wanted the Couve, his son, and Harry Potter, and that's how we got this show. And what I was thinking to myself, it's one thing if he would have like made 5 great shows, and then at the end he's like, I have this kind of offbeat idea, I want to try it. And I would have called this like Juvie Hall, Star Trek Juvie Hall or something like that. You want to try something with Misfits, something different, you can try it. But the fact that all this stuff is a failure and then he wants to do this vanity project is such a disgrace.
Yeah, they didn't even have zippers. in regular Star Trek. And they interviewed Robert Picardo, and he said, well, we used to speak in something called mid-galactic standard. It was an advanced, but now we're trying to reach a younger audience. But you know what? A younger audience isn't as stupid as you think they are. They can understand if you don't speak in millennial euphemism. It's so awkward, and it just knocks you out. Like, even Dumbledore didn't hold class in his pajamas, for fuck's sake.
It's just ridiculous that they think that they have to talk down to an audience. They have to sound like, frankly, what they sound like are millennials trying to sound like Gen Z. It's pathetic, but they think they've got to do this. They've got to, get with the jargon and speak like the generation to talk to young people, to bring in young people. When the reality is that Star Trek was always bringing in young people. I guarantee that most people in this audience, probably most of us here, we probably started watching Star Trek when we were 8, 10 years old, maybe.
Yep.
That was a show made for adults.
Like 5 years old, by the way.
Yeah, it was a show that was intelligent, and it rewarded you by listening and thinking about the really deep issues that they were trying to talk about in these shows, and being able to approach in a way that you didn't feel like you were being preached at, because they were using science fiction and allegory to really kind of give you a way to think about issues in a different way other than just slapping you in the face with them. It was an intelligent show, and you felt rewarded by watching and enjoying it and learning about the characters and relating to the characters. No, here we just got to have a bunch of people flipping each other the bird, saying dude and whatever, because that's how you bring in a younger audience. It's absurd.
But where does this idea come from? Going on the adventure is what made these shows classic. Like, how these people get a job in Hollywood making this stuff, I will never, ever understand. Like, I will never understand how they get there. And now they're just hiring each other, so it's never going to end. But the fact that they think that they have to do that, create just our world in a Star Trek world, and that's interesting, does my head in.
It is the same. Go ahead, Ista.
What they're doing, I don't know if you've noticed, but they have they're teaching through the humiliation of every white male character in the show. Remember when Barclay had a holodeck program, and they decided, well, it's our job. We need to teach him to relate better than the crew, not to ostracize him, not to ridicule him. But here, if you notice, every teacher humiliates every single male character. They all get humiliated except the one who's not white. But even he takes a lot of crap, whereas all of the women in the show are stunning and brave and powerful.
Oh, they're amazing. T-shirted historian, $2, thank you. Imagine using a black light in the holodeck. Look like a snowstorm.
Not after these kids have been in there. No, thank you.
Not allowed to have replicators by Wagon Burner, $2. Well, apparently not.
Yeah, and then because we see in the third episode, we see he gets up and he mixes up a protein shake. Instead of just ordering it from a replicator like you would in Star Trek 1,000 years before.
Yeah, with little tiny like quail eggs.
Sorry, someone's complaining that Price isn't talking enough.
I tried. I'm not trying to overlap. Everybody has an opinion, and I'm trying to hear other people's opinion too.
There's no place for civility here. Just start shouting over people.
No, I did. I said that I thought that Kurtzman was annoying and that he made it for his son. I thought that was a pretty interesting point.
Hologram girl is so overweight. She has a mass, the T-shirted historian said. Yes, God. She does. This scene here where they're giving the bird after zapping the kids around out of the gym locker. I've got to get back to that gym locker scene. But when they zapped them around, just before they gave the bird, the writing was incredible. We did this. This is it. What they said. We did this because we could, and we'll keep doing it because it's fun. That's it. That's their reasoning for starting this civil war against this other team and zapping them around.
Very Vulcan of him,
well,
you know.
When a Ista, when a Romulan does that, is it called a bird of prey?
Oh, by the way, Alex Kurtzman's son was 17 when he was, or 16 when he started writing the show. 16 and 17. So that's apparently who the target demographic is.
God. I bet his son doesn't watch it.
Oh,
the weirdness of it being like Harry Potter, but then certain scenes feel like they're trying to do a RoboCop, not RoboCop. They're trying to do a
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Thank you very much. That mix of age, and then you get the change room scene. Who now all of a sudden we're at Starship Troopers. 2 minutes ago, or in the future, we're going to talk to a baby plant that we're going to try and sell to kids. Then they're in the change rooms together, all getting changed. And when that guy starts talking about how he was dating a guy, then slept with his sister, hit the guy's sister, and then he slept with like the mum or the cousin or something. I'm pretty liberal, and like I've lived, but then about 2 scenes later, he's getting told off by the lesbian woman, and that a teenager having problems with their parents. How much do you have to force? Whether it's gay or straight or whatever you want to be, how much do you have to force teenagers should be just fucking around and like fucking everything that moves? Like, do we need that in Star Trek? Like, can we just have some sort of lessons about being nice people? Also, not just that, you have to explain this to the Australian here. The bullying we see in American movies, especially from the 80s, always seemed like it was just, a bit far-fetched and that, because we don't really have that bully culture in Australia. We sort of just, there's kids that don't like each other, but we don't really seem to have jocks against the nerds or things like that. It always seemed like an American cliche for movies. Does that culture exist in America? Because even this show has to have this sort of bully macho thing going on the whole time, that they're trying to outdo each other, and they seem so smarmy and they seem so childish about it all, but they're full-grown men. Does that actually exist, or is this just something that's a cliche in TV and movies?
I think it certainly existed in the 70s and 80s somewhat, but you're more likely to find bullying inside of groups, like one set of jocks. There's only so much fun, there's only so much fun in making fun of a group who's totally outside of your normal everyday activity. Yeah, there was bullying, at least back then, and then when my kids were in school, there was a little bit of it, but I think it is always slightly exaggerated for the movies. But every
you do have those hazing cases though, where some poor kid will get killed doing a hazing thing for to get into a sorority or something like that. So we don't have any of that. We don't understand any of that.
Yeah,
we just go to
so much anymore.
Well, did you know John Hamm almost killed a guy during a hazing incident where he beat him so bad the guy had to have his kidney removed?
Jesus.
He spent a lot of time trying to purge that story from the internet, but you can still find it. But that was again back in the 70s, 80s. So, but I think around the time I was in grad school, they really clamped down on the whole hazing thing. But you hear older stories about that quite a bit. There was a guy who drank himself to death during a fraternity initiation, I remember, back in the 80s.
Yeah, that happened quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for
so it's not far-fetched in this show. Commentating is dangerous. 7530. Took me a minute to work out what that name actually was, but I finally got there. Don't worry, Mr. Head. You can sleep soundly tonight knowing I was here to watch your amazing show. All hail the head of the robot. Well, thank you very much. I will sleep soundly with that lovely $5 there. Thank you for sending that through. Let's get this one while we're here. There was bullying in the 90s, but that sort of extreme, just ready to go bullying. It just sort of, I don't know. There's not one person in this show I like. They're all assholes.
The extreme sort of played up jocks versus nerds stuff. Seriously, this is all just from entertainment. That was rarely ever something that was widespread. Yes, there have always been bullies. There have always been those that are getting bullied. That's always going to happen. I mean, that happens in every in-group, every different society. But no, this cartoonish version of it that they keep showing in shows like this, it's all just perpetuated by entertainment. It's kind of absurd. Stigma NYC in the chat said Animal House. Yeah, it's cartoonish like that, really.
The classic.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't have bullying is West Point and the Naval Academy. That's where they teach discipline and character, and that's what these are supposed to be analogous to. Yeah. And that's why it's just so absurd. Like, if you just showed somebody this show, are you getting the best and the brightest here? Because
compare this to A Few Good Men. It's sort of how seriously they take like someone hazing or being a bully. And then you got this. Just Jack Nicholson in his role, just shove him into this show to deal with these people.
Can you see Jack Nicholson? Can you see Jack Nicholson kicking back in his chair, putting his bare feet up and right into the camera so everyone can see it? No,
that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah. Why every fucking scene with this lady, she's like, with her bare feet, she's rolling around. There's not one scene that she stands. And
she looks uncomfortable every time.
Yeah,
every time she never looks comfortable.
No, she's playing an imaginary game of Twister in her head. Every freaking scene. And it's like, yeah, can you imagine Jack Nicholson in his pajamas? Like, what?
And also the way she talks and acts is just so irritating.
Oh, she's fucking terrible. And listen, she can't help it, but the way she talks is fucking annoying, and it seems to be getting worse as she gets older. That the speech impediment she's got, just fucking, it's just uncomfortable to listen to the whole time.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. The worst thing though, the scenes that she has with the Jem Hadar lady, that's like difficult to get through the scene because the Jem Hadar lady is like, I told you that we were going to do it. And then like she's like,
sounds Australian.
And like I'm thinking to myself, what have I done to deserve watching these two annoying ladies speaking on screen for such a long time?
I told you they shenaned before and they'll shenan again. Oh my God. One of the worst lines I've ever heard in my freaking life. Oh my God.
And speaking of annoying, I am going to take my leave.
Oh, he's off. He's off. It's come around already. He's got to go. Just as people saying you weren't talking. If people want to hear Price more, he's heading off to another show. Don't leave, but he's going to do that. Thank you, Price, for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Price.
Bye.
Oh, God.
I was just going to say, whoever wrote the show has never said anything cool or done anything remotely like being a human in their whole life, because they can't even get people to sit in a chair correctly, or every line is so clunky and delivered in such a weird way, whether they're trying to be cool or tough or romantic, or like, how the hell did that captain get to her position? And she hasn't even got good posture. Like, she doesn't listen to anyone. No one listens to her.
That's another thing showing how ignorant the writers are. You know how these days they're very important for correct pronunciation when you're talking about foreign languages. It's no longer, Ariana. It's got to be Ariana. But when she talks about Sun Tzu, that's not how you say the guy's name in Chinese. It's Sun Tzu. And that's the correct. So, they're only sticklers for the correct thing within the narrow boundary of their experience. And it's like, it's Chinese. We don't care. We can't be bothered to find out how you're supposed to say it. So their idea of political correctness and diversity is very narrow and limited on their spectrum.
And the way it's also gone into being, again, back to the Harry Potter thing, it's virtually about magic. Like, they're zapping around all over the ship, and like the plant grew instantly and attacked everybody. Like, there's actual magic going on everywhere. It doesn't feel like science fiction at all. It just feels like Hogwarts in space, but with a way less interesting cast or any direction in story. Like, it's fucking odd, just completely odd. The way the whole concept of this show is fucking odd. Like, why you'd even try and do this?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, transporters, even in Star Trek, they're a serious thing. They still have accidents. you're not going to be just randomly transporting everybody around for fun. What happens if there is an error? Like it absolutely is magic. And that was one of the first things I found really offensive. First, they turned Star Trek into Star Wars, and now they're turning it into Harry Potter. Exactly. It's like Hogwarts Academy.
Yeah. And if it's either the woman screaming at them and they're doing like workout sessions or talking about going into battle, or it's Hogwarts, and it's like, but where's Star Trek? Like, where's the bit about humanity in that? Like, it's all the things that shouldn't be in one show. Like, when people said it was bad, I was expecting it to be bad, but my fucking God, it's the acolyte of this IP, isn't it? It's just so fucking bad. Yeah. I haven't watched many of Kurtzman's track. I watched Card. That's about it, I think. Have the others been this bad, or is this a highlight?
No, they've been this bad. There was one piece of Star Trek in this last episode, and that's when Rachel Weisz is going, this is exactly what I need. I need discipline because I'm not in control of my, telepathy. I'm not in control of my emotions. I need to learn to do that so I can be a better person. He's like, oh, that's overrated. Let's go make out. So when they do have a good message, it's always from the bad guys or the people that are encouraging the wrong thing. Like,
her brother,
the complete idiot, incompetent cuck that apparently has no telepathy whatsoever.
But before he joined, when he was hanging around with his dad that was doing sign language, he seemed very together and cool and part of the family. And the second he joined the academy, he turned into a fucking raving lunatic. Like he's he's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the inconsistency for each character through this show is ridiculous. But if you want to even hear a hope of something decent or sensical, you have to listen to what they show you are the bad guys, what they're saying, because they're the only ones that are going to be making sense.
How was it at the start when they're going on about how disgraceful it is to separate children from their parents? This whole modern day argument that's happening in the USA, and it just rammed it down people's throats. Like this concept that the mum who was a fuckwit and got herself into trouble because they're starving at a time when there's no shortage of food needs to go to jail or wherever she's heading for 15 years. Like, of course you have to separate parents from children, but this whole sort of forcing these fucking ideas down the throat of the audience is just sickening. But it was from like the first 30 seconds into the show.
Well, it doesn't stop there, but yes, when a grown adult commits a crime as a criminal, you're going to have to separate them from their kids. That's kind of the compact that we made to form a society.
How it works.
Yeah. It's not
you don't send the kid to jail with them. I mean, that's not going to work. This happens. It happens every day. It happens not just in our country, but in many countries around the world. If you have an adult who's responsible for a child and they are arrested and sent to prison, then guess what? The child goes into the foster care system. This is not some amazing crime against humanity. This is how it's done. This is what happens.
Pulling over drunk drivers and letting them drive their kids home because we can't separate them.
Yeah, they're acting like that they're just randomly selecting families and splitting up the children. They're acting like that's what we're doing now, and that's not what that's not what's happening. But that's the emotional. See, this is a show about feelings. It's just how that's their ideology, the people that create this stuff. And so all they're doing is running on feelings. How does this make you feel? They're not trying to make sense or logic. Hell, Kurtzman thinks that the most powerful part of a Vulcan is their unrestrained emotions. Like, that's how bad he doesn't get Star Trek.
It's nonsense.
They try and just force emotion, like you said, they're into emotions, but they don't even set up the emotion. They'll just have an emotion happen, like when they're negotiating with the guy at the sign language, and then they all just start standing up in approval. That means fucking nothing to that guy. That guy's like trying to think of his homeland, how it's going to be protected, and because they all stood up, he agreed to go along with it. I was like, this doesn't mean it make any difference. But the guy on screen, I like how every time someone turns into an alien, they look like a feminine version of their former selves. why was this was a similar thing. He asked the girl to turn around while he transformed. I thought he was going to get nude. He had to be nude to go outside because he could go outside. If people haven't watched the show, he could go outside in his traditional form, I guess it is. But he asked the girl to turn around while he transformed, and all he did was his head changed. Yeah. And why is he embarrassed about what he looks like in this universe?
That makes no sense whatsoever, other than he's just incredibly vain. That's the only thing that can make sense. Because,
but why would he think that a human looks better?
That's not even the freakiest. That's not even the freakiest alien you see walking around in here. There's one of the frames in here where you can see there's a guy walking around, looks like a character out of the Thriller video with an orange flat top. I mean,
I've got a picture of him somewhere because that guy cracked me up. But why would a creature be ashamed of their own appearance and think another creature looks better? Like, this is where they can't get their heads around that aliens
it's not
are a separate thing. It's like the basketball. They're a separate thing. They don't know basketball, and they're not ashamed of what they look like. That's what an alien is.
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, I'm a little jealous of what Henry Cavill looks like, and we're the same species. But
exactly.
Even if it was vanity, that's what he would like. It can't be out of vanity because that's normal for him.
Yeah.
It's because everybody is viewing this from the lens of a stunted autistic human kind of thing.
Well,
and that's why they're always having to tell you how they feel, because they're not setting it up, and that's a fundamental problem with writing that goes beyond this show. That's all of Hollywood now, is the lack of setup and appropriate payoff in the creation of a narrative. They don't know how to write that anymore. Go watch any movie from the 1980s, and you'll see. Go watch Back to the Future, a masterclass in setup and payoff. And nobody in that movie had to tell you, I'm feeling a little sad right now.
But this show's incredible for it. Like, we just had Matt Damon come out and talk about this with Netflix, how they tell him to write. You got to have an action scene at the start. You got to keep reinstating what the story is 4 or 5 times, which we have been complaining about for years. But to have someone actually come out and confirm it, which it's obvious they're doing it, but for a start, actually say it with a company he's working with. But after hearing that, and it's fresh in the head, and then you watch this show, they are constantly explaining every emotion, every feeling, every movement they're doing. Like, remember when the big tall, the son that was on the run was trying to escape, which is weird, and he was climbing a fence. So it's like a prison where they're going to school. He needs to climb a fence to get out. And the other girl, the Rachel Wiseman lookalike, came along and explained back to him exactly what he was feeling and what he was doing. Yeah. And like, she's standing there going, I can tell that you're sad and frustrated and want to get away. And she just spent 10 minutes explaining his character to the audience. It was fucking bizarre.
Yeah. And also, why do you make a fence that's essentially a ladder if the idea is to keep somebody out or in? It has handholds and everything.
Oh, boy.
I mean, how good is this school? They got to lock you in. It's like you're not allowed to leave. And his whole setup too about, he's a prisoner, but he can get out of prison if he goes to this school. But then he can leave the school whenever he wants, and he's no longer a prisoner unless those people catch up with him. Like, it's such a convoluted setup that, like, either make him that he has to be there and he doesn't want to be there, but otherwise he's going straight to jail if he leaves. So that's the whole story. Or don't have any threat about him being in jail to begin with, because that doesn't seem to matter now. Like, he talks about leaving nonstop, and they know he wants to leave, and they got to. Every episode, the captain has to, convince him to stay and plead with him to stay because he's such a fucking genius. Even though he grew up as a criminal on the run, never had a bed apparently, but he's also a technical genius somehow. Like, he's like Ray of this show. He can just do everything, even though he's been on the run his whole life.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not quite as good as Ray because he has a penis, though. So
not quite as perfect.
Yeah, but if you look at the current state of our immigration here in the U.S., it's actually kind of the same situation he's in. You're not here illegally; you're being deported, but we're going to let you go for now. So it almost that actually kind of holds some water if you look at the messed up stuff that's going on here.
I like how she said people with minor, infringements can join Starfleet Academy, but he had a list a mile long, like he'd attack people. We see him attack guards, bite them, try and kill them, but just they're all minor offenses apparently, and now he's just a genius.
Yeah, and what Adam wrote, Giamatti can cripple a starship, but he needs some cash. That's exactly. Again, nothing about this show makes sense. They're just doing random actions in order to demonstrate a situation that they want to lecture the audience about. So they don't really care how they get there. They just care that they set up this lecture for you and tell the audience exactly what you should be feeling.
Yes, and also they must get the representation in there. They have to make sure that there's plenty of representation. So they got to have a deaf character, and they got to have somebody who's blind. They got to have somebody who's autistic. They got to have someone who's in a wheelchair. Doesn't matter that none of those things make sense. Doesn't matter that any of those things make sense in the future. They got to have it in there.
Obesity's the dumbest one, I think. Anyone would be obese. But the fact that they've got ailments that could easily, like, what are we in 3,000 and something a year?
Yeah. 32nd century.
That's like the Jim Hadar lady. She wants peace. She wants peace. The only peace she wants is a piece of cake. Sorry, I thought that was funnier in my head.
No, it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. Yeah,
As long as they blood into the cake.
Yeah. Gotta be. It's cake of death or something, because she can't stop talking about death, because they think that that's all that Jim Hadar ever talked about, and that's all that Klingons ever talk about is death. So everything she has to say has to be about death.
And they have no concept that history would move on. Like, she's still reading books. She's got a fucking gramophone. Like, wouldn't it be like at least
glasses.
give her a CD player or something? Yeah, their history would be the original Star Trek. Like, would be there because it's 1,000 years difference or something, isn't it? The fact that they're coming back to our time and they've still got books and records they're playing and quotes from our time, and they're talking about writers from our time and poets, and it's like, fucking move on. Like, you shouldn't be talking about our time. For a start, you wouldn't even know. Like I said, it's like, we do know a bit about the Romans, but we're not walking around quoting them every day. I mean, we try to, but
no captain, of any naval ship today is kicking back, letting his piggies air out on the bridge while he reads Cicero. Right? That's not happening.
Yeah, she's not even using a Techniques SL1200 turntable. She's got one of the the little turn cranky mother. And you notice the Klingon, all he talks about is honor, but he's a pacifist Klingon. He already doesn't have any honor to all the other Klingons. He's already a disgrace, but he's like, your friend's honor is as important as your own. Like, you have no honor, dude. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
The fact that they claim this show is written does my head in. I just can't get past the fact that these are just all ideas. There's the guy with the orange hair and the skeleton, the sugar skull makeup on in the background.
Yeah, that's good. Thriller extra. With an orange flat top. It's great.
Yeah. Let's go back to that magnificent photo. The fact, and they're just forcing in all these ideas, and the story is so shit around them, and the setup, and it's so blatant, and they're fucking getting paid to do this for a job. It just blows me away. And after all these years too, you're thinking, the cultural war, we may, Kathleen Kennedy's leaving. Who gives a shit? This show is out now. They're still making this garbage. I love that flat top guy in the background.
I didn't notice that, man. That is he looks like kind of a punk Frankenstein.
Yeah. He's got a little goatee off the bottom too. I think they just told people to just dress up however you want. When you come in, we'll give you a uniform.
Well, the lack of a real futurist in the vision of this show, that somebody actually put any thought into the world building of what the future is going to be like. It's just modern day San Francisco high school, and then slapped a Star Trek sticker on it. So of course it's not going to make any sense. But apparently the ratings for the show, we are the only ones watching it. So I mean, really, the ratings will reflect that only the crew that made this are the ones watching it. I can't wait until the Luminate numbers come out. I thought Paramount just listed their top 10 and this wasn't on it, but I didn't verify that. So if anybody knows, that would be an interesting thing.
Well, it's a smash hit they're reporting, isn't it?
Well,
everything's a smash hit these days.
The cope is that the reason the YouTube views are so low is because everybody's watching it on Paramount Plus. But then when the Paramount Plus numbers came out, nobody was watching it on there either.
No.
So now we have to wait for Illuminate or somebody else, whose job it is to set ad rates to really see if anybody's watching this dumpster fire. So
it's nerds have always written science fiction. But nerds, like the weakest little writer that went to art school and wanted to write science fiction, still loved tough men and tough situations and chain of command and could write a line that sounded cool and tough. But now it's just these bunch of faggots just all together filling the cast with just weirdos that they like, and then pretending that they are all tough and intelligent and great and could do anything. And they think in the real world, that's how it really is. Some tiny little lesbian could beat up a huge man if they really wanted to.
Well, Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And the fact is, these are people privileged enough that reality hasn't smacked them in the face yet. But when it does,
but it doesn't always. Some of these rises go on, and they just seem to advance up in a backwards fashion, no matter how bad things are. And they're living in their big mansion, and they're very wealthy. And I don't know if they ever get slapped in the head.
No, a lot of them don't. But if they ever had to work for a living and produce results, they would be in for a rude awakening. But that's why they're so out of touch with their audience, which is primarily people who do have to work for a living and produce results. So that's where the huge disconnect between us and what we're watching is.
Well, it's an incredible show, and I will be making videos on it, I believe, because there's just too much to talk about.
It's wow. It is an absolute gold mine for one of your videos, Robothead.
How is Nerdrotic Gary putting a toy of Spock on a live stream and getting more views than the show got? Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, that's a real boot in the nuts. Is it? Like that's incredible. Like that beat the show that cost millions of dollars, a toy on a seat. So yes,
the real
Gary, that was a funny one.
The real kicker on that is that it leaked out of our little cyberverse and made it to mainstream. He was on Gutfeld, for fuck's sake. Like when the normies start paying attention, that's when you know you've really broken through.
Yeah.
So
it's very good. So I am going to keep watching it, and I think there's 10 episodes, isn't there?
I thought it was 8, but it very well could be 10.
Yes.
I don't think. I don't see that. And these are long, man. This show is long.
They felt long. Jesus Christ.
Every time I see Tig Notaro, like when I just heard the name, I know I'm not going to like that person. Whenever I see her on screen, it's just agonizing. This show is such an insult to the people who grew up with real Star Trek. I mean, I can hardly even begin to tell you how insulting this is to the original IP that they have hijacked. But the show is filled with such feminine energy, and in trying to make everybody equal, they claim to like diversity, but they're erasing all the differences that make people unique, and they're turning everyone into the same little equal blob. Whether you're 4 foot tall or 8 feet tall, apparently you can fight the same, you can play basketball the same. It's no difference at all. They're trying to turn everybody into they're really the Borg. That's really where we're going here.
The dumb Borg.
Yeah. So yeah, this does have 10 episodes according to IMDb. So 10 episodes for the first season, but you get to look forward to a second season that's already been greenlit and is already filming. So yeah.
Oh my God. It's just it's just out there. This one sort of hurts. I can see this one hurting more, not hurting more, but like with Star Wars, it was fantasy. So yeah, there could be lesbian witch coven just hanging out in somewhere in space. Like anything they decide to do in Star Wars, okay, it's fantasy, it could happen. It's a shit idea and it was executed horribly, but maybe where Star Trek always had that it's meant to be smart. It's meant to mean something. It's meant to do something. And to do this is just fucking out there. Like if you're a lifelong fan, you'd be bloody heartbroken watching this crap.
Yeah, there was always some scientific principle that was extrapolated into the future to become what we're seeing. There was always a technical reason. Of course, they needed to give us technobabble, maybe not as much in the TNG, but it was always based on real science and the real technology, just extrapolated into the future. But this is just, let's do it because we can, and it's like magic. It's exactly right. It makes...
Well, and on top of that, it was always an examination of human nature. It was an examination of how different cultures interact with each other, how different philosophies interact with each other. That all of that, along with the science that was used to help create the show and create the allegories that were telling the human stories and the drama around that, all of that is gone. This is a show about dumbass kids that play pranks on each other and, sneak off somewhere to screw. That's what the show is. Like, it's not Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, they no longer allow for different cultures. Everyone has to have open borders. Everyone has to have diversity, mixed race. That's the thing for somebody who claims to champion this. They want to turn everyone into this homogenous thing that has no culture of their own.
Of course,
it's so hypocritical. It's infuriating, really.
That's why we get Romulans flipping you the bird and Vulcans insulting you, and we get all these other alien races that are coming together. Klingons, who now thinks that he's going to gain honor by being peaceful or something. Like that's not. That's completely opposite of the culture that was set up. There was a reason that the Klingons were who they were. There was a reason the Ferengi were who they were. And now they're all just, they're like, 1,000 years later, everyone's just the same.
They just can't comprehend what an alien is, can they? I know I'm repeating myself from before, but they just can't see people. Well, people have differences.
Well,
because other creatures would have differences.
No.
Yeah, no, they're just like us. And in fact, the alien says buns of steel, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know. There's so much modern day BS in this. The lingo. It's awful.
Somebody said Santa, didn't they? Somebody represent.
Yes.
A hologram. Well, at least she might know Santa from the historical records. But I seriously doubt 1,000 years into the future, somebody's going to be saying, I'm going to play Santa. I don't know. Could happen. But, for a culture that disdains religion and all of its trappings, I find it really hard. But, we're going to make sure we have the Mugato mascot because we got to get those little member berries in there.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were using mascots in a combat situation designed to develop combat skills, but then you have this big, because they got to get the furries in along. We need furry representation.
Yeah. Got to have furry representation.
Yeah, so you got to get the big Mugatu and whatever that other thing was. But yeah, that really simulates combat if you're invading Disney World.
That son that joined, that's now a complete moron, that was the son of the guy doing the sign language.
Yeah.
Can you imagine when his father hears what they've got him doing? Like he's wearing a mascot outfit, he's getting attacked, he's getting transported around in the nude. Like he's going to think, what the fuck's going on?
I can't imagine him hearing it because he's deaf.
And he's getting sentenced to menial labor too. Like, what is this, a prison instead of doing something productive? Like, even in the army we got KP, but that was preparing food so people could eat. It was still productive. What are they sending these guys to the salt mines for detention? Like, what kind of school
Yeah, I
is
know.
this?
So confused. The weed in your garden, 9319, $10 lovely dollars. The barefoot captain is supposed to get Quentin Tarantino interested.
Yeah, there
Well, he
you go,
wanted to
yeah.
do Star
Yeah.
Trek, didn't he?
He
Didn't
did,
he write a whole
yeah.
script?
Yeah, they
Would
really
love
should have
to see
cast
that.
Brie Larson as the as the head of the school. Then
Oh,
we could have had
God.
some interesting shots there.
Anyone would be better than listen to Holly bloody talking the whole time. False teeth. She's like she's got the wrong false teeth in the whole time. Yeah. Put the right
on the
teeth in,
side of
Holly.
her mouth.
Well, Professor was right. The original beauty of Star Trek is its examination of the human condition through allegory, and they would present you with a situation, and you get to decide how you felt about it. Here, you're presented with a lecture and told exactly how you're supposed to be feeling, or you are wrong.
Yeah.
It's the perfect modern sci-fi show for this generation. It's beautiful.
For the mythical modern audience.
Yes. Well, we'll keep watching it and reporting back. I think that's what we'll be talking about each week is this bloody show. So it's fascinating in its stupidity. But before we go, one more subject I just wanted to bring up, a quick one, something to relax after talking about that shit show, was the news that Sinners got, now what was it, 16 nominations for the Oscars. Not that any of these awards really fucking mean anything, but that's a lot. It's a record. Where are my notes here? Got to find my notes. I think the previous record was 14, but which 3 different films had, which surprised me. There was All About Eve in 1950, Titanic 1997. I knew that was up there, and La La Land in 2016 all had 14, but this had 16 nominations. But those period piece sort of films are always going to be in for costuming and everything, aren't they? Like,
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, they're going to be in for that. But let's be honest. This is it's an original story. It's an original IP. It's not falling back on remaking something or whatever. And I mean, what this last year was not either a continuation, a sequel, or a remake of some previous thing, right? It was a really successful film, and it's beloved by quite a few people. Really enjoyed this film, and it's like I said, it's something original. So I'm glad to see that it's getting some support from the Academy.
Yeah,
and they do love the original. Go on.
You don't see many horror movies, doing that well at the Oscars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to win. It's probably not going to win a whole lot of these categories, but just to get the nod from them, recognizing the creativity and the originality of the production. I mean,
well, if you look at all the movies of last year, the pickings were very slim, and I liked the movie. I didn't think it was the greatest thing. I loved the music. I hope this movie wins every music related Oscar. I thought it was phenomenal.
I was a big fan of this movie. I like this movie. It was good. The music was incredible, though.
And it had some elements of science fiction. The fact that Michael B. Jordan would fall in love with that body positive chick, that's pretty much science fiction. So,
hey, they were married. She could have turned that way after they got married. She might have been.
True. Okay, fair enough.
I think it was a very honest representation of marriage.
Early onset abuelism has been known to happen. So that is true.
Yeah, like the brother. See, he wasn't married. He was still cutting with the women. So
even though some people may complain that this movie was kind of anti some groups of people, I didn't feel insulted by the movie. And honestly, I insulted and attacked are the two biggest feelings I get when watching anything modern. So the fact that I didn't feel that way and I could just enjoy the story, I thought there were some pretty stupid decisions in here, but it's definitely way up high at the list of the very slim pickings from last year. So,
but it felt like watching a bit of a 90s or 2000s film. Like it had it's older than that, but the Angel Heart sort of feel, that sort of, I always like that, Deep South sort of voodoo story. And I enjoyed it from start to finish. I thought it was a good film. The fact that there was so many arguments if it was the greatest thing on earth or the worst thing ever, and Yeah, when he blew away the clan at the end, I didn't feel like I was really on the clan side. I didn't have any of those feelings at all. So I loved it when he unloaded that machine gun in the clan guy's face. So, yeah, I hope it does well, but it'll be interesting to see. But I've seen people online going, it's good, but not 16 awards good. And it's like, well which ones would you take away? Because, like, costume, music, you know.
Yeah, who else should have just like remember they were arguing that Barbie didn't get nominated for Best Actress, the Margot Robbie, and they're like, well, who would you kick out? You know?
Yeah.
So exactly, this Angel Heart was a good movie, man. I remember loving that when it came out. This is kind of like a common Angel Heart meets From Dusk to Dawn sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the acting was really superb throughout the whole movie. So, you know, I'm not sure there are any other movies I feel deserve to win above this one, honestly.
And gee, they did the twin thing well. Like, I just forgot the whole film, but I was watching the same actor play two different parts. You know, the way they did the CGI, and it was done so well. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it gets in the end. But like you said, at least it's not a remake or a fucking continuation of something. It's something new,
or a reboot or a sequel or midquel. And you know, it wasn't just the effects, it was his acting. He really did an excellent job of creating two very distinct characters. That's another thing you see in a lot of modern day stuff. Every single character speaks with the identical voice. They're all interchangeable. Nobody has any unique differences. Those are the things modern day quote unquote is trying to erase. But there were very distinct people, and he should be commended for his job in that.
You never got confused which brother you were watching, which was quite amazing for the whole film. Like, I never was like, which one is this one now? You know, it was just always very clear which brother was which. It was he did a really good job.
Well, and they had the hats. The hats helped.
That helps. That helps if you're a bit slow. Yes, and the women they were with were a little bit different too. So, but the little Irish guy doing his Irish jigging song, he was fantastic too. So I don't know that actor's name, I can't think, but he's also in Bone Temple as well, playing one of the Jimmy Savile characters. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they go and what they win. But that's probably it for tonight, I think. Thank you for joining me. And do you guys have anything to promote?
Things to promote. Oh my goodness!
Any shows you're on, or
you're on yes. Let's see. Well, later this evening, I will be joining Price of Reason for the Night Owl over on Price of Reason Live. Starts at 11:45 Eastern. We do that show Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, hanging out and just talking about the news of the day and whatever. And sometimes Robot Head shows up, and we all clone ourselves into copies of Robot Head, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre. But no, we have a lot of fun there talking about whatever's going on that day, just the late night show. And then I will be joining the B-Side show over on B-Roll Stage. I join them every Friday, and the rest of the B-Sides crew watching an old film, having a few laughs, making a little fun of, maybe some less than high quality film. But we have some fun over there. Again, that's the B-Roll Stage channel. That's on both YouTube and on Rumble. We're over there Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, watching something and having a little fun on B-Sides.
I bet the quality, you watch some of these films that you always thought were crap from the 80s and the quality's still better than something like Starfleet Academy.
Some of the
they were actually trying to do something.
Some disastrous garbage from the 1950s and 60s that doesn't have a copyright on it is better than some of this new material that's made.
So I'll be doing Trev Retro's Friday Night Shite tomorrow. I believe it's 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time. We're going to be talking about the Starfleet Academy again.
Yeah, have fun with that.
And I can be.
There's a lot to say.
The Mr. Brown Alliance channel, which is Sundays and Wednesdays. I
have to get back on there. Paul Brownie keeps inviting me on, but this time of year, the hours just aren't working at the moment during summer. But I have to get back on there. I need to get back onto that show.
Well, we are doing the countdowns on Wednesday. We'll be up to the movies of 1987, and that has been a very fun and positive experience going through the movies of each year. And
you have to remember those movies. I've done too much brain damage. I have to prepare. I'd have to go watch every movie from that year before joining in.
Yes, and on Saturdays, actually, we've been going through on Saturday afternoons, talking about the greatest toys, the A to Z compilation that we've been working our way through every Saturday, and man, it's an extremely fun stream. So few people are showing up to watch it, so go check out Mr. Brown Alliance.
I've never been recommended that show, and I get the other shows recommended to me. Just bloody YouTube. You don't even know these things are on.
Last couple of weeks on Saturdays, we've been doing that, and it has been so much fun. Amazing how enjoyable it can be to talk about something good. Something that brings up good memories.
It's very positive.
It's shocking.
Yeah,
and then no one turns up to watch, and you think, okay, I'll keep whinging.
You're not shitting. You're not shitting on something, and so no one wants to watch it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're also doing the best Bond girls in between the movies on Wednesdays, and then Sundays for the Mr. Brown Alliance. Just the usual stuff, talking about pop culture events of the week. So, the toy stream has been the toy stream's really brought back some old memories there.
Yep. Well, it's good that some people are being positive because it's hard. It's hard because whinging about things is so much fun. So thank you, everybody. And Mailbag will be back next week. We'll be back onto the mail and to go through the messages. So please send in mail with your questions and things you need help with, and we can help you on with any problem in the world. Make sure you send those through, and we will be back next week. And don't forget, when you come back, bring your mates.